Here's the swap that I chose. F23A, single jingle. Picked it up at an importing shop out in Franklin Park, Illinois. And there is going to be a few things that we're going to have to do to this in order to make it happen. But it shouldn't be too hard. This is kind of like doing an H swap, almost the same thing. I did pick up some engine mounts right here. These are just some eBay engine mounts. I picked up also a distributor. I might end up using the distributor. This is a D-series distributor. And I also picked up a transmission. The transmission, these engines come out of Accords and out of minivans. I'm not going to be using an Accord transmission because the gearing is way too long. So I have gotten myself an H22 transmission that we're going to be putting on there. Got it at a really good deal. So we're going to be splicing this all together. This is an OBD2 engine. One of the things that we're going to have to do is swap this thing out and put the H22 bracket on here instead. I have that on the way right now. Also, this wire harness, we're going to be removing this wire harness and we're going to be using the original D16Y8 wire harness. I'm going to be using the throttle cable from the D16Y8. And I'm going to be using a B-series throttle body. That way I could eliminate this guy down here and avoid that problem. This distributor, what I'm thinking is I'm going to either use the D16, try to slap it on there. If that doesn't work, I'll go ahead and strip the guts out of the D16, stick the guts in here, and run my wire. Because this wire will not plug into my OBD2 wire harness. And not only that, this wire is, 4? And I believe there's 4 wires here on this plug. And I believe the other one on the OBD2, D16Y one, D16Y8 one is 6 wires. VTEC is also going to have to be wired in a little bit different because all it has is 1 wire. And this is just an on and off switch, pretty much. We're also going to have to figure out fuel because the feed line is on the opposite side as the D16 would be on the opposite. So it would feed from this side and return from that side. As you guys can see, this is the one that would go up to the filter right here. And then it would route out this way and then go back around. We're going to have to change that up a little bit. I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove a lot of this stuff. This power steering pump needs to come off. All these belts need to come off. I got to get a belt that doesn't have the AC. This belt is for the AC. The AC bracket would go here with the AC compressor, therefore filling up this gap. We're going to have to get a belt that only goes from here to here. A little shorty. Power steering, of course, has to be removed. I do have EG subframe and I do have EG rack and pinion. So we don't need any power steering because that's a manual one. I'm also running the EG brake booster and EG master cylinder. I push this thing over here in front of the car. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw you guys on a time lapse and start removing all the stuff that I think that needs to be taken off. Just to let you guys know, I've never done an F swap into a Civic before, so this is all new to me, and I'm pretty interested in doing this and getting it swapped in. The plans for this is to get the engine into the car, get it running, drive it for a little bit of time, maybe 60 days, so 2 months, and run some nitrous through it and see what happens. Either way, let me throw you on that time lapse.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the.
All right, so I got a lot of stuff stripped out of it. Check it out. This whole thing. I stripped all this stuff off. The engine. The knock sensor did break on me, so I'm gonna have to replace it. This right here, I think we're gonna end up doing some kind of a block off plate right here, and we're gonna probably use a B series throttle body on here. There's this line that runs it sends coolant up this way, and then it looks like it transfers it from here to here, because there's nothing in here in this bottom port. It's just like a giant square, so it's just to go from here to here. And then this one right here, not quite sure where it went. I did find this right here, this hose that also runs coolant right before the thermostat. So what I'm gonna end up doing is the simplest thing, the easiest thing is probably to just connect this hose to this port right here. So it would just go up to there, and that will take care of that. Another thing is this right here. This thing was sitting here. I believe this is the EGR valve. So we're gonna go ahead and also put another block off plate right here. Block that off completely. And then once we get that blocked off, this blocked off, and that line rerouted, the last thing that I really have to worry about is the distributor. Besides that, everything else looks good. I went ahead and I removed the bracket that was here. I'm waiting for the new bracket, like I said. But you guys can see how much cleaner this looks without all that garbage. I also took out a plate that was sitting here. This one, that was for the power steering. So I went ahead and I just got rid of it. I do want to get the wire harness before I get this engine completely into the car. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a day right here. But tomorrow, we are going to be installing the transmission into the engine. We have a clutch and a flywheel and a throwout bearing right here that we're going to be using. Also, in order to make this swap possible, I had to locate every single bolt that I was going to need for this vehicle. I had to order a lot of this stuff online. Like the throttle cable, I didn't have it. I saved this fuel hose right here. This is every single bolt for the motor mounts for the driver and the passenger side that I did not have. I got some flywheel bolts, pressure plate bolts, and all of the H22 transmission bolts. This is everything. I actually had to order this from eBay. It was like 50 bucks just for this because I couldn't find it anywhere else. So I had to bite the bullet. Also, I had to get some subframe bolts from another Civic that's just like this one, just so I could finish putting the bolts in, because I am missing 2 bolts on one side and 2 bolts on the other side for the subframe. And that will completely tie that off completely, and it'll be done. This is the start to something very cool. Remember that this vehicle only weighs 1,800 pounds, 1,870. So with that engine and a little bit of nitrous, we should be pretty good. Let's do some nice pulls. But I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Stay safe. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.